Um, Hello everyone, a very warm good afternoon to each and every one of you. Myself Akshat Bundela, event management team from Bhuchintan. So on behalf of whole Bhuchintan team, I welcome each and every one of you. So first of all, I would like to introduce Bhuchintan to you. Bhuchintan is a multidisciplinary student-led initiative, and Bhuchintan is a youth-led initiative which explores in the realm of geography, environment, and their interrelative spaces. It serves as a vibrant platform for youth thinkers, researchers, and writers to share insight, analysis, and perspectives on pressing environmental and geographical issues shaping the world. With focus on sustainability, resilience, and scientific understanding, Bhuchintan aims to bridge academic knowledge with public awareness and inspiring informative actions, critical thoughts, and deeper appreciation of the planet's interconnected system. So, once again, on behalf of whole Bhuchintan team, I welcome you, each and every one of you. I would also like to introduce our guest and speaker of the day, uh, that is Mr. Muhammad Altamash Khan. So we are delighted to introduce Mr. Muhammad Altamash Khan, a disaster risk reduction and climate resilience and emergency management professional with over 5 years of experience working across national and state institutions in India. He holds a MSc degree in disaster management and climate sustainability from Jamia Millia Islamia, where he was awarded gold medal in disaster management, presented by Honorable former President of India, Sri Ram Nath Kovind. Mr. Altamas worked with leading organizations such as UNDP India, where he is working as disaster management consultant, and in Gaya, Bihar, and the Asia Disaster Preparedness Center (ADPC) and Spear India, contributing to key initiative in emergency coordination, communication preparedness, and institutional capacity building. He also played a vital role in developing national and state level resources, including disaster management handbook, training modules, and emergency operation guidelines. Having served at the State and Health Emergency Operations Center in Bihar during the first wave of COVID 19, he brings valuable on ground experience in managing complex emergencies. Beyond his professional pursuit, he actively supports social cause and through creative communication, co-runs a grassroots cricket academy for underprivileged kids with a deep commitment to the resilience and inclusive development. Mr. Thomas continues to inspire action toward building a safer and more sustainable future. On behalf of whole Bhuchintan team, so we will welcome you in our midst. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you so much, dear Akshat, and thank you everyone to be here. I mean, it's Saturday, but still you are here, so good to see everyone. Uh, and thank you for the kind introduction also. So I'll directly go towards the topic of the day. That is basically building disaster resilience through knowledge and preparedness. So I'd like to just clarify that it will not be a one-sided conversation or maybe a talk only because I'm also a learner. I mean, still I'm learning through different reputation through my work experiences. So I mean, you are also the future disaster resilient students. I mean, current students, but maybe the disaster resilient uh, professionals in coming times. So, of course, it will be a conversation. I'd also like to learn from you that what are the current trends in terms of academics, research, how we can support each other. Like we are having the field experiences, you are having the academic experiences, you are knowing the latest trends. What are the trends in terms of climate change? What are the trends in terms of disaster? Uh, uh, maybe climate induced disasters. So, of course, let's be very, I mean, frank and don't hesitate. We'll have a question answer session also. Before that, I'll just like to share my experiences, share my knowledges, whatever I have gained so far, and what is my perspective. It can be right, it can be debatable also, of course. So yeah, I have not prepared any deck, Arg and Akshat, but yeah, I'll like to. I have prepared some pointers based on my own learnings, so I'd like to share that only. So thank you again for inviting me, and of course, it's an honor to be here among you guys. Among the, I assume that most of you are
Sir.
students, researchers, scholars, and I'm happy to know that you are doing this kind of initiative, of course, because I'm also associated with one of the magazine called No Disaster Magazine. If you may have heard about that, so that's purpose is also to spread awareness on disaster risk reduction, uh, climate adaptation in a very layman's language. Because sometimes what happens that uh, climate talks, disaster talks are so scientific, so difficult to understand that it doesn't percolate at the local level. I mean, whatever discussions are there that start from academic institutions, from the state government, national government, and it comes to state and then districts, and finally, I mean, it settles down mostly at the district level. So the huge vacuum is there from the district to the community, and not just community, from district to the block level, to the ward level, municipal corporations are there. So for that only, I mean, that magazine, No Disaster Magazine, working, and it is headed by one of the legendary figure of disaster risk management in India. If you may have heard about him, Mr. Shri Anil Kumar Sinha. He is basically the founder chairperson of Bihar State Disaster Management Authority as well, and uh, of course NDMA and IDM. So apart from that, as Akshat has already introduced, that I have worked with organizations like UNDP India, ADPC, Cheer India, of course, contributing to No Disaster Magazine also, and some of my personal initiatives that I'm taking voluntarily, that is Rise for Safe Growth. So yeah, this has been my affiliation so far, and in terms of uh, field experiences, if I would like to share, they are mostly uh, related to floods. Basically, started from Assam floods. It all started from basically COVID-19. That was my first-hand experience to disasters and disaster management. That time I was in Bihar in 2020, and I was working with the government of Bihar disaster management department. And coincidentally, at that time only, COVID struck. The mass exodus of migrants living in different parts of the country, they started coming back to Bihar. So I was at the hem of affairs, I would say, luckily. So it was a good learning for me as well, because it was State Emergency Operations Center under Disaster Management Department. So ACOC was managing all the uh, management of migrants, COVID-19, quarantine centers, coordination with different states. So it was such a, I mean, a huge disaster, and it affected almost all the sectors. I mean, every sector was affected. So coincidentally, I was there, so it was a good learning for me as well. Then from that, I got my field experiences through Assam floods, Bihar floods. Recently, there was violent landslides, Tripura flood responses, and state level coordination in states. I mean, at the national level and the state level. So yeah, I mean, in a short career, which is not very extensive, but yeah, it's just 5 to 6 years of my working experience. But I would say that has been very diverse and very learning. And now I'm in a position to say that, yeah, like there needs to be a lot of preparedness, and preparedness not just at the community level, but from top to bottom, and from different stakeholders covering different sectors. We can't just blame the government. We can't just say that communities are not aware. It has to be a multi-sectoral, multi-stakeholder approach for disaster resilience, climate resilience, and for preparedness. So, uh, I'm not going to the definition of disasters, climate change, climate adaptation, because every one of you are well versed with that. Uh, just, I would say that why resilience is important. And apart from all the talks, definitions, scientific studies, guidelines, policies, the core of everything is resilience. So it is very important to understand that why resilience is important, why we are talking about resilience. Recently, there was International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction (ID DRR Day), which is celebrated on 13th October every year. It's basically an international event. So the theme of this year's International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction was also resilience. Fund resilience, not disasters. So if you go by the line, it's very meaningful that we have to fund resilience and not disasters. If if we understand, if we analyze the scale of and the amount of funding that are spent into disaster response,
Yes.
and the scale and the amount of funding which is allocated to resilience, to preparedness, there's a huge gap. If we are spending 100 rupees on disaster response, we are not even spending rupees 10 on disaster preparedness. But of course, there's some good hope also. If you have gone through the 15th Finance Commission, which was there for 2021 to 2025, 5 years, 15th Commission allocation was there. So that is indeed a paradigm shift in disaster financing in India. And that's true that the government has now shifted its focus from disaster response to actually disaster preparedness mitigation. And disaster 15th Finance Commission is one of that example. That's true. That it's not just on the paper, but the government is finally working towards that. But again, just allocating amounts, just allocating funds is not enough in itself. How we are going to utilize that fund from the top to bottom level is another challenge. So there's a lot to talk about resilience, but I'll try to make a boundary so that it should not be like haywire. We'll have some specific and pointed discussions today in whatever time that is allotted. I think it's around 45 minutes. So I'll try to wrap up into that only, and I'll also try to keep myself in that limit.
Yes, Arsha.
Uh,
I would also like to tell the audience that they can put up their question in the chat box. Meanwhile, our sir will be speaking, and sir will be speaking for 45 to 50 minutes. And after that, we can take some more questions. And thanks.
Sure, sure. And in between also, if you feel that there are some queries, there are some clarifications required, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. It's purely conversational kind of talk today. It is. I'll try my best that it will not be a
We'll try
one-sided.
to make it as interactive as possible. So,
Certainly. So we were on why resilience is important. So disasters are not going to stop. Climate change is happening, population is increasing. So, of course, disaster will increase and it will keep on increasing with the kind of advancement, with the kind of generation we are moving towards. So, everything, every development has a scope and exposed to disasters also. Uh, if we see any household, I mean, poor households usually lose year of progress in one event. Say, in case of violent landslides, one event, I mean, changed the entire geography of that particular place, and everybody who were living in that was affected in one way or the other. So, can't we say that if we had prepared, if not 100%, even if 40%, 50%, it would have been cheaper than whatever amount was spent on the response. So it's always the preparedness is cheaper than the disaster response. And there's a very classic line also you must be knowing that 1 rupee spent on disaster preparedness or climate preparedness saves 10 rupees in response. So it's very important that we focus on preparedness mitigation now. And of course, it has to be multi-sectoral, multi-stakeholder approach. Our country, India, I mean, there are like n number of disasters and climate emergencies happening nationally. be it floods, at the same time drought is there, lightning is there. If there's heat wave, now the cold wave season is coming up, road accidents again, every day, every minute, there are n number of deaths in India, in our country. At the one side, fire. Uh, then now, I mean, these are like anthropogenic. There are natural hazards, of course, and then there are anthropogenic hazards. We will not say we'll have to stop using natural disaster, because, of course, any disaster is not natural exactly. So, in our country, there are multiple kind of disasters, multiple kind of hazards. We have to understand what is our preparedness path, how we are working towards preparedness. If there is any model, if there is any plan, if there is any path or simple plan if we are following for disaster preparedness. So, like currently, I'm doing a multi-hazard HRVC of a district. Basically, it's the hazard risk vulnerability and capacity assessment. It is the step one of preparing for any disaster or disaster risk management. So, I just want to know if the students and the if our participants are mostly from disaster risk management background, or like from geography, or if Akshat, if you allow, should we go uh, a 10 minutes of introduction round so that I'll also have an understanding that
Sure, sir.
how.
So
Uh,
we can have the introduction now.
Yeah, just to add on, sir, our participants are from several different background. So yeah, if you go on with the introduction, it's completely fine, and the basics of the disaster management would also work in this case.
okay, okay, please. Because it would be wrong if I completely talk about disaster management and I'm not able to connect with our participants.
Right, right.
Yeah, so because first of all, I'd also say that I have done my bachelor's in geography, and then I have done my master's in disaster risk management and climate sustainability. So, of course, like I would request everyone to please uh, introduce about you also, so that I'll have a basic understanding at least. So, if there'll be some topics, some words, some terms where I'll have to emphasize and define, I'll go. I'll do that also.
All right, sir. I'll begin with myself. I'm actually Nila Master's student, MSc Geography student. I have done my bachelor's in geography also, and I'm always been enthusiastic about disaster risk reduction. And I have had disaster risk reduction as my domain subject during my graduation, and I'm also reading it during my post graduation. So, yes, sir. I'm glad to have you here with Bhuchantan today.
Thank you.
Okay, so myself Orgho, and I'm from Tripura, from Northeast India, and I have completed my post graduation in MSc Geography, and currently I am a research enthusiast, so I'm preparing for that. And I am connected with Bhuchantan. It has been 8 to 9 months, and I'm working here as an event coordinator. So it was nice to talk to you, sir, also. And yeah, welcome to Bhuchantan once again. I hope each and every participants of here will get to know something and get to learn something from this informative webinar. Thank you so much.
Good to know, Olga, you're from Tripura, because I was in Tripura last year in
Yes. You
2024.
said that's why I thought, yeah, that was a very difficult condition for us that moment. Yeah.
Truly, truly. Thank you.
Any one of you from the participants, anyone who is willing to come up and give his or her introduction, they can give, and the rest participants can give their introduction. I mean, their name and where they are from in the chat box itself. Anyone willing to do it right now, you can continue, or else you can write in the chat box your name, your institution, where you are from, and your email address. Yes, Ashit, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, myself Shashank. It's compulsory to have a conversation in English or I can go for a Hindi also.
No. You can do it in Hindi also, no issues.
So right now I am doing a lot of things. I am artist, I am a wildlife rescuer, and I am working from the last 15 years in the art form only for the natures and all. But I wanted to know about one thing. So are we going to connect by the visual always or we are going to meet as a person to person, anytime to share our thoughts and make our energy more aurasful and more creativeness for the society. Because the problem is the society. You can't able to understand that. And I am fighting and I don't want to worry about my life and all. I am a big cat rescuer nowadays. So you have to think about the society. How are we going to meet each other and break the society according to ourselves? What is our demand? That is my reason to give you a time and meet you for a meeting. Right now, I am running a cafe. It is known as a friend zone, the art cafe, and it's all. I will show you my showcase, and it is all related to the wildlife only in Dehradun. And I have some big project also. I might know I am going with a WWF with you person, but I like your spirit and your working style. I love it. But something is missing is known as a social the working networking.
Yes, sir.
So we have to work according to for the meetups for the environment talks. I'm always be there, and we can thought about something to get some colors out from you and some place to see out.
Thank you, sir. Glad to know about you as a wildlife enthusiast, and we are glad that you are with us today. It is our privilege to have you with us today in this webinar. And yes, sure, sir, we will take note of it of meeting our friends. Sometimes it's not theoretically possible for us to gather from different parts of India and meet at one place, but like sure, we will look forward in Chintan for such initiatives. We will sure let you know about our future initiatives as well. We are really glad to have you today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sashank. And yeah, of course, good to know that you are working on all these initiatives. And of course, like it has been since COVID time, we are mostly connecting on virtually. And I mean, life has been. I mean, of course, with the use of technology, it has been easier only. Otherwise, it would have been difficult to connect more often. So certainly, someday we'll connect in some or the other platform. So since I'm a disaster risk management professional, that's why I'm talking more and focusing more on disaster management and how it is important, why it is important, uh, how climate change is increasing and how it is impacting all the sectors. I mean, whether it is businesses, whether it is uh, uh, film industry or any industry, let's say. I mean, it's disasters and climate affect all the sectors. So that's why it's important that uh, we know we get out of after getting out of this webinar, at least we learn something. I mean, if we not learn something, at least our awareness level should increase. If we started this webinar from our awareness level of 50%, so it should be 70% today. So that's why I'll mostly focus on my domain, and then of course during the conclusion of the session we can have that conversation how and when we
Sure.
can proceed with
Even
that thing.
disaster management covers all the aspect of this diverse biodiversity. It concerns all the living being on this planet. So yes, sir, the wildlife and this disaster management are both connected, and we are glad that we have both of you having diverse thoughts, and we will be talking about diverse patterns as well. And for sure, we hope that our knowledge, at least about awareness, preparedness, and how we can help in mitigating, we as a part of the society can also help in mitigating or being prepared about these disasters. So we are glad to have you.
Yeah.
Anyone else who would like to introduce them? Yes, please, Lankrita.
Hello, can
Good
you hear me?
afternoon, everyone. Uh,
Yes,
Hi,
please.
Yes,
Lanka.
Alankrita, you go on. After that, Amzad, you can carry on with it.
uh, Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Alankrita Das. I'm an undergraduate student, and currently I'm pursuing my bachelor's in geography research. So I'm doing fourth year, and I've obviously studied about biodiversity and disaster management and related topics of preparedness, mitigation, and as such. The whole meeting till now has been very inspiring, and I've loved to hear more about it. I think that's all for my short intro for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good to know, Ankita, about your studies and your interests. So, anyone
Hello,
else, if you want to
can
come in?
you
Yeah,
hear
Mr.
me, sir?
Amjad.
Yeah, Amzad, he can go ahead, I guess.
Yeah, I'm Amjad Ali Khan from Gilgit, Pakistan. I have completed my MPhil in Geo-Environmental Conservation and Sustainable Development from Punjab University. Later, I have started some courses as a visiting lecturer in Karakoram International University as a visiting lecturer in the Department of Earth Science as a visiting lecturer of disaster management. And during my teaching, I face a different type of weaknesses inside the communities. So we, as a academia, we just imparting knowledge into students, but we do not get output in the society. That is big gap. So during this position, I thought that communities didn't have any awareness mostly, because sometimes we blame on nature. We say nature is responsible, but we do not say we are responsible. Like sometime we construct our houses in the way where flood is occurring. After that, we blaming on the nature. So that is the big problem. So this is one of the emerging field, disaster management, and it's very important according to my point of view, because I belong to the region which is the very prone to disasters. Like it is the very mountainous region. So every year landslides, every type of disasters we face. So uh, after this webinar, maybe we will get knowledge more about its importance, and we can deliver much more in our societies as well. So currently, I'm in China, so doing my PhD in physical geography. So this is my short introduction. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Amzad. It's really great to know that you are all the way from Pakistan and currently you are joining from China. So thank you so much for joining in. And I hope you will get some answers to your questions that you have in your mind. So yeah, I think without much delay, I think so you can go ahead.
Thank you.
The rest participants, you can ask the questions at the end of the session. And whatever interaction we'll be having, whatever queries we'll be having, we will be asking at the end of the session. So let's hear from Sir what he has to say for today. Thank you so much. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Olga, and thank you, Mr. Amjad. Good to know, and good to know now. Like I have a fair understanding that we have a very diverse participants from different regions and geographies, of course. So yeah, we just discussed about why and how resilience is important. Look, any kind of preparedness, any kind of planning, it as Mr. Mahatma Gandhi also said, any change starts from us. So first, we have to, ensure that if our mindset, if our own human being, as a human being, if we are really worried about resilience, disaster preparedness, climate preparedness, only then we will be able to bring some changes in whatever environment we are living, in whatever environment we are working, studying, doing researches. Say, for example, I'm a disaster management professional. So, how I try to inculcate disaster resilience or preparedness is that I usually try to encourage my family members, my siblings, my friends, and I try to make them aware about basics of disaster risk management. If not telling them how to manage your disaster, I just tell them at least try to know your risk. Say, for example, if my mother, if my sisters are working in kitchen, I orient them on basics of cooking gas safety, basics of electrical safety, and what could be other hazards, what could be other risk in our home. Then, if we are working in an office, if our office is having some kind of hazards, if our ways, road to office or road to colleges, road to schools are safe, what kind of risks are there, what kind of hazards are there. So from our daily life only, if we are able to slowly and slowly identify this kind of things, this kind of risk, this kind of hazards, so I guess we'll be able to find a solution as well. From walking out of our house to college, to our university, to our working place, to our uh, anywhere we are going to, any restaurant or anywhere. If not, like, of course we cannot think about disaster risk only every time while walking, while going anywhere, but at least in our home we can observe, because our home, our workplaces, our study places are the places where we are spending a lot of time. So just what I want to actually convey is that let's start thinking about risk management. If not disaster, if you think disaster is a very complex thing, it's a very big thing, disaster means the thing is only for the government, they will come, NDRF will come and they will manage it. No, disaster is a very, very simple thing. If we had a webinar today, say for example, my internet was not there, electricity was not there, if my laptop wasn't ready, I couldn't have attended to this webinar. It could have been a disaster, because plan was there, everybody was there. They were, I mean, all of you were ready to attend this webinar. So if I would have not been here, so it could have been a disaster. So disasters, think about disasters in a very simple manner. Let's not think about disaster risk management, climate adaptation as only for the government to do. They will spend fund and then we'll be safe. No, whenever there is a disaster or any kind of emergencies, it is us only who respond. So community, people, our family members, our neighbors, they are the first responders. So why not orient them? Why not encourage them, aware them towards identifying risk, understanding their risk? So if they'll be understanding their risk, they'll be able to find a solution to that. Let's teach our family members, our parents, our siblings, our children, the basics of first aid. Let them join some of the task forces, NSS, NCC. Let them build. Let us build our own home disaster management plan. Let us build our school disaster management plan. Let us develop our village and city level disaster management plan. If the government is not doing, we are well informed, we are educated people, whether we are undergraduate students, where we are research scholars, where we are working professionals. Let's help our city administration. Let's help our gram panchayat officials. Let help our city administration or maybe district level officials in preparing a basic level of disaster management plan. Let's help our schools. Let's help the government schools. Government government is thinking about preparing school level disaster management, and they're spending a lot of funds. But if we have studied, if we are now educated, if we are well informed, can't we utilize some of our skills voluntarily in helping our neighborhood, in helping our family, in helping our local administration, in preparing some kind of mitigation plan? We have AI, we have Google, we have a lot of technology now. So first would be, let's encourage this environment. Let's start this from our own home. Let's start from ourselves. Let's make it a habit for 21 days. And then let's slowly, you will see that there will be a change. And if we as citizens will start doing all these things, it will slowly, the message will go up to the government level, it will go to the media. Like right now, I'm in one of the states of India, in Bihar. I'm working with Bihar State Disaster Management Authority. And in Bihar, there are elections ongoing. If, as an informed citizen, we start asking our uh, representatives that what was there in your last 5 years, or what, how many disasters happened in 5 years, or let's not ask them the numbers, just give them a report, basic report. Do a Google, use ChatGPT, make a 1 or 2 page of report. How many disasters were there in last 5 years? How many damages? What was the damage extent? What was the fund spent? let's do a basic research and give this report to our local administration, to our media. Yeah, Akshat, you want to ask something? Yeah.
Yes, sir. You were talking about this making report, and also I was just curious with the thing you told right now that we as the volunteer can help the society. So, what all can be different institutions like you told about joining task forces like NCC and all? Can you please elaborate on that? What all can be done to the school kids who can join it? What are the things that is college students who can join it? Apart from that, sir, what all are the courses or few trainings which one as a school student or a college student must do it? So if you can elaborate on that.
Certainly. Look, say for example, we are living in a city, we have municipal corporation, we have ward level committees, ward levels, or maybe some committees like NSS, uh, other Nehru Yuva and NYKs are there. If nothing is there, there are a lot of multiple virtual level platforms. Say, for example, Bhuchintan. It's also an initiative. It's a student-run initiative. If some of the interested students are there, they can join these initiatives. They can be part of this system. They can contribute through their knowledge, their learnings. They can share. They can write blogs. They can aware their neighborhoods. Maybe they can join. They can go and directly talk to the local administration. Sir, I want to help you, help my city in these ways. I can aware 100 people. I can aware 500 women. I can make a school level disaster management plan for you. I can make, or I'll do a basic research for your city, for our city. Look, I am doing this kind of study. I want to. I need some data from this city, and I want to do some research, and through this I want to help. So of course, I mean, change will
Sure,
start
sir.
happening.
Yeah. Thank
So
you, sir.
yeah, so resilience will start from preparedness. Preparedness will start from our personal awareness, and the chain will follow up. And then it will come the disaster response. When there will be disaster, automatically the response will be much better. The expenses will be lesser. Yeah. Then I'd like to take you towards one of my own basic social experimental or that I did while I was studying, while I was a master's student in 2019. Uh, in 2020, basically, uh, I was at my home, basically. So what I thought that it was a good time to interact with the Gram Panchayat. So Gram Panchayat is basically in India, Mr. Amjad, for your information, I'd like to uh, tell more about Gram Panchayat. That in India, the administrative system, there's national government, the state government, then the district level administration, then the block level administration, and ultimately at the ground level to administer the community for the local development, for the village development, there's a Gram Panchayat. And of course, there's an urban panchayat also, that's municipal corporation. So Gram Panchayat, what I did basically, I just directly went out to the Gram Panchayat head. I'm talking about 2019. I told him that I'm studying this. I want to help you. You often organize Gram Sabhas, you develop Gram Panchayat development plan, GPDP, if you may have heard about. For every Gram Panchayat, there is a GPDP being developed for 5 years. So why not include awareness sessions? Why not include why not some components of disaster risk management also in your GPDP? Say, for example, they are building drainages. Say, for example, Gram Panchayat uh, administration committee, they are developing roads. They are building talabs, basically. So why not those drainages are built considering the monsoon, if there will be overflooding, if there will be blocking due to solid waste. So how we will find a solution that all the waters that will be accumulated, they will flow away. So why not think in that way also? Why just take a contract, build a drain, and submit the bills to the government. So through this basic encouragement, I saw that there was a slight change. In fact, in one of the Gram Sabhas, all women Gram Sabhas, what I did that with the help of district level administration, I invited one of the couple of sessions on disaster risk management and awareness, like a session on cooking gas safety, a session on fire safety. So slowly and slowly, that was made like a habit. Whenever any Gram Sabhas were organized, after that, there was one component for 20 minutes, 30 minutes that was specifically for disaster risk management and allocating few budgets in the GPDP for the disaster risk management. So now it's a good process. I mean, for last 5, 6 years, it's an ongoing process. And that Gram Panchayat has won several awards also. That include uh, Panchayat Shashakti Puruskar, and it was handed over to that from the hands of our honorable PM also in a virtual ceremony. Then they were awarded several awards. I mean, from the district administration, from the state government. So it's a very good change. And if you search over Google Bikopur Panchayat, Bikopur Gram Panchayat, you'll find they are doing very good work in terms of irrigation, in terms of GPDP. So why I quoted this example that I find this example as a very encouraging uh, initiative personally, that with a small intervention, with a small voluntarily support, now there's a good change. So that's why I'm saying that let's be a responsible citizen. I mean, everywhere they say civic senses has to improve, civic senses has to improve. Of course, it all come under civic senses. Disaster risk management, awareness, sensitization, orientation. It is also part of civic senses. So, so yeah, I mean, I'm happy that that small step is not a good initiative, and that brought a good change in that periphery of the country. Now coming to policies on paper, a lot of policies are being made internationally, nationally, at the state level. A lot of guidelines are there. You must have heard about Sendai framework 2015 to 2030. There's National Disaster Management Plan from of India, and every state, every country is of course having their own disaster management plan, climate management plan. Then there are state disaster management plan, district disaster management plan. Uh, then several states are having their own DRR roadmap, similar to Sendai framework. But the problem is that are these policies, are these guidelines are actually helping? Like in India, Disaster Management Act was passed in 2005. It's been 20 years. How many times we have utilized Disaster Management Act? I understand it's only one time at the national level. That also during COVID-19, that the Disaster Management Act was actually enacted. So, what I want to say that policies are there on paper, committees are there, plans are there. Are they existing on ground? Is there implementation is there? If implementation is there, are we tracking them? Are we having any checks and balances? Are we having active coordination among different committees that have been set up? We'll find it rarely. I won't say that it's completely negligible, but it's there, but very, very rare. So, as a country, as a policymaker, we need to move from planning to practicing. Let's make a very basic plan, but at least practice it more and more. Let's make our home disaster management plan very basic, but let's practice it more and more. So, if we start it like this way, we'll be slowly moving towards resilience. And it's true. Let's keep it very basic. You are studying geography, someone is studying commerce, someone is studying doing research. Every part, social work, industries, businesses, if we are making a building, let's strictly implement the building codes. Let's strictly follow the fire safety plans. Don't let the contractors bribe and get their plans, building plans, architectural plans passed from the municipalities. Please don't. Otherwise, you'll have several building collapses, several fires. I mean, you must have heard about different fires in coaching, floods in coaching centers, in different educational institutions, in different maybe industries also. So anyhow, if we go into detail, if we investigate the cause, we'll find that there are different stakeholders responsible, from the officers to the contractors, even sometimes the house owners also, building owners also, the real estate agents also. Everybody wants to make money, everybody wants to save money, and in that they forget that life is going to be affected. Life is going to be impacted. There can be a lot of deaths, and it happens. So ultimately, it has to be within every kind of, whether we are students, we are uh, homeowners, we are working professionals, we just need to be little sensitized. And of course, slowly there'll be a time when there will be disasters, but the losses will be lesser. I'm not advocating that let's make a plan that will stop disaster damages 100%. It will not happen. Let's be practical. But if it is in 2025, if it is 100% of damage, let's target that in by 2035 there will be 50% damage only due to disasters. So let's work towards resilience, and it will start from preparedness and from our own personal level. So yeah, I would say that planning and governance will definitely help towards that. Uh, there are different factors, different things that affect resilience. There are nature-based solutions, there are human interventions, there are governance, planning. Combination of all these things will definitely lead to a better, resilient country. Say, you must have heard about, I just talked about nature-based solutions, like wetlands, mangroves in West Bengal. There's someone from Kolkata also. So you must have seen that in Kolkata and in maybe other uh, coastal areas, there are mangroves. So they are like the kidneys of the city. They are very useful to that particular coastal regions. And in all those areas during cyclones and storm surges, these mangroves are very helpful. Lakes, I mean, they're actually the water tanks. They're storage tanks for excess rainwater. So let's preserve lakes. Let's preserve mangroves. Let's preserve our wetlands. Don't let them utilized for making some money and utilized by the contractors, buildings, roads. If we are building roads, let's find some alternatives. If we are cutting down plants, let's find an alternative for that. So it's very important that we shift from reactive relief to proactive resilience. And how, like, after disasters is a response, preparedness is before disasters. Say, for example, relief camps, they are for the response, but if we talk about preparedness, safe shelter planning, it can be a preparedness. If we are talking about compensation for disaster response, the preparedness will be risk reduction. If we are talking about fire brigade, for the response phase, fire safety training can be a preparedness activity. So through these interventions, just differentiating between response and preparedness, we can achieve a lot of preparedness and we can save a lot of money again. So in my opinion, our approach has to be from reactive to proactive. And now, like after disaster, 15th Finance Commission and different allocations by the government, I can say that yes, India especially and many other countries are now moving towards mitigation, preparedness, and not they're limited to disaster response only. So I would say that yeah, I mean yeah, and then I'd also bring in one very important aspect of preparedness is coordination, humanitarian coordination. Uh, I would like to share one example, like in Tripura. Orka, you're from Tripura. I was there in September 2024.
Yes, sir.
So what happened? There were a lot of inflows of humanitarian support, relief materials from different directions, different stakeholders, different people, different sectors. You know what? In the initial part, for first week, for 1 week, due to lack of coordination among the givers and takers, there was a lot of duplication, there are a lot of mismanagement. The relief materials were not reaching the right place. If it is reaching to the right place, it was reaching in numbers, and the other place they were lacking it. So coordination is also one very important aspect of disaster risk management. And for coordination, a simple steps can be followed at the government level, that there can be multi-agency coordination before monsoon, before a disaster. It's not that during a disaster happened, incident response system is activated. No, let's not wait for any let's not wait for a monsoon to happen, floods to come, then have a multi-agency, multi-department meeting. No, at least 1 month, 15 days before that. Let's organize. Coordination means who will do what, where, and how. Very simple. For that, let's spread a simple Google sheet to track who is doing what, where, and how much. And we follow that practice. We call it a 5W matrix sheet. So during a major disaster, complex disaster, what we do, we circulate a Google sheet, live sheet, with all the responding organizations and individuals, that wherever you are responding, just keep updating this live Google sheet with whatever response and how much in quantities you are doing and where, so that there should not be a duplication, there should not be a repetition. So, and also a clear roles and standard operating procedures can also be set out. Local volunteers can be trained in emergency operations. So, in all these, using all these humanitarian coordinations, of course, the resources can be made sure to reach at least, if not all, but maximum people. But it happens that during disasters, uh, there are support, humanitarian support from NGOs, from the donors, funders, from the government, but it's not sure that it will reach to all the people. So, there, a government NGO coordination is very important, humanitarian coordination is very important. So, I would like to, I see it's already 3 o'clock. I will not stretch it further. Like, let's conclude. And I would just want to say that in this kind of webinars, in meetings of the government, let's not limit the disaster management, climate management to webinars, to our classrooms, to our meeting rooms, to the government sector only. As I said, let's be proactive because we are students, we are learned people. Let's practice it in our daily life, in our family, in our work culture, in our offices, and slowly awareness will increase, sensitization will increase, and will definitely be resilient enough to tackle any small and major disasters, and not just resilient enough to save ourselves but also save our family, save our neighborhoods, save our uh, mates also. So let don't limit it to a plan. Let's practice it, make it a culture, and we'll have a better days where we can say that yes, with some preparedness we have saved this much of money, we have saved this much of damage to happen. So I'd like to conclude here. Let's talk, let's conversate again. Ask me whatever queries you have. I'll try to answer as much as possible. So thank you so much.
Sir, thank you for this very informative session. We learned a lot. You talked about various domains in disaster management, from disaster management plan to disaster management act, how it is implemented once during COVID-19. You also talk about this school kids and like college student volunteering to NDMA and Nehru Yuva, and even about AI in disaster management, and mostly the solution, nature-based solution. So it was quite insightful for all of us. And one thing which really I got to learn today, this is if we spend 1 rupee in preparedness, then we will save 10 rupee in when disasters happen. So like sir, a lot of insightful things that I learned today, and I'm sure that I increased my awareness about disaster today. And now it's time from audience. If they have any question, they can put forward. And I have few questions from audience through Google Form as well, and I'll be asking them as well. So anyone from the audience who want to ask the question can raise the hand and ask the question.
Yes, in the meantime, I can see Navdeep and Alankrita, they have asked question in the chat box. So if it's okay, then I will ask Navneet to please unmute yourself and ask the question directly to sir, so that there's a two-way communication. If Navneet is present here, can you please ask Navneet? Sorry, Navdeep, my bad. If you're present, can you unmute yourself and ask the question?
नमस्कार सर सभी को। मेरा नाम नवदीप सिंह है, मैं दिल्ली डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट में आपदा मित्र हूं सर, दिल्ली से। हम ये कहना चाहते हैं सर, जो आपदा मित्र ग्राउंड लेवल पे काम कर रहे हैं, उन लोगों को स्कूलों में और कॉलेजों में और दूसरे लोगों को आपदाओं से बचने के लिए ट्रेनिंग देने के लिए लगाना चाहिए, जिससे कि आपदाओं में कमी आ सके। आए दिन जो आपदाएं हो रही हैं, जैसे कल ही रात में मुंडका के अंदर इतना बड़ा फायर एक्सीडेंट हुआ है, 500 झुग्गी जल गई सर वहां पर।
जी नवदीप जी, थैंक यू। बिल्कुल, for everyone's knowledge, I'd say that Abda Mitra is one concept that the National Disaster Management Authority (NDMA) in India they are following for last few years, and they are training individuals on disaster risk management, and they are like from each district, from each state, from different villages. They are inviting people, volunteers, and they are training them on disaster risk management so that they can be helpful on disaster awareness, disaster response phases also. But yeah, uh, नवदीप जी, ये भी एक बात सच है कि आपदा मित्रों का एक बहुत पूरी तरह से एक बेहतर इस्तेमाल भी नहीं हो पा रहा है सभी स्टेट्स में। कहीं ना कहीं उन्हें बार बार जो रिफ्रेशर ट्रेनिंग होनी चाहिए वो नहीं हो पा रही है, या उनका एक बहुत ही सिस्टमेटिकल या स्टैंडर्ड प्रोसेस नहीं है उनको यूटिलाइज करने का, या उनके जो भी उनकी एक बेसिक पेमेंट हो सकती है या उनका कैसे यूटिलाइजेशन हो सकता है रेगुलर अवेयरनेस को लेकर समाज में या डिजास्टर रिस्पॉन्स में। ये एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज तो है जिसमें कि एनडीए में और स्टेट जो डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट अथॉरिटीज हैं वो इसको लेकर सोच रही है और काम भी कर रही हैं। जैसे एनडीएमए ने अब एक युवा आपदा मित्र स्कीम भी निकाली है जिसमें कि युवा जो होते हैं लोग उनको ट्रेनिंग दी जा रही है। तो आपके क्षेत्र में डीडीएमए में कैसा युवा आपदा मित्र को लेकर वो बताएं।
सर युवा आपदा मित्री बनाए 2023 के अंदर सर यहाँ पर
जी
तो वो ही लोग सर काम कर रहे हैं, उनको मतलब श्रेय नहीं मिल रहा जो उनको मिलना चाहिए आगे के लिए।
राइट राइट
क्योंकि कुछ प्लान में मतलब हमारे यहाँ पर 1800 आपदा मित्र हैं सर दिल्ली के अंदर,
ओके
और आए दिन कोई भी आपदा होती है उसमें हम लोग जाके काम भी करते हैं। अब जैसे नेहरू युवा केंद्र आपने बताया, दूसरी एजेंसियां बताई, ये लोग तो सर पहुंचते ही नहीं है कहीं पर भी। मेन तो आपदा मित्र जाके अपने एरिया में रिस्पॉन्स कर रहा है।
राइट राइट
अभी बुराड़ी में जो बिल्डिंग गिरी थी वहां पर भी आपदा मित्र वेस्ट डिस्ट्रिक्ट से जाके सपोर्ट करके आए थे।
राइट
तो फिर भी गवर्नमेंट मतलब सर इसके लिए कुछ नहीं सोच रही, ना डीडीएमए सोच रहा है इस चीज के लिए। दूसरी एजेंसियों को लाकर काम लिया जा रहा है जो 1962 का सीखे हुए सिविल डिफेंस के लोग,
राइट
जिनको लेटेस्ट चीजें सिखाई गई हैं उन लोगों को उतारा जाए ना सर, जिससे उनका भी थोड़ा सा रोजगार चल सके, मतलब घर गृहस्थी चल सके। नहीं तो सर आगे आगे 3 साल हो, मतलब 23 में सिखाया आपदा मित्र बनाए यहाँ पर, अब 25 चल रहा है। धीरे धीरे उनकी लोगों की उम्र निकल जाएगी, फिर वो लोग क्या करेंगे, बेकार है बिल्कुल एक तरह से।
जी नवदीप जी, मैं आपकी बातों से सहमत हूँ।
क्योंकि अभी तो सर वो लोग अपडेट हैं, काम कर रहे हैं हर फील्ड के अंदर। अब उन लोगों को कहीं स्कूलों में जैसे दूसरे लोग जाके पीटीआई के तौर पे लगा दिया जाए। ये एक स्कूल को भी ट्रेन करने में साल लगाते हैं, 5,000 10,000 वॉलेंटियर को ट्रेन करते हैं सर, वो अपने लोगों के घर में तो जान बचा सकते हैं ना आए दिन।
करेक्ट बिल्कुल। नवदीप जी कंसर्न तो सही है। देखिए यहाँ पे क्या है कि एटलीस्ट एक एडवोकेसी शुरू की जा सकती है गवर्नमेंट के साथ, एनडीए में हो या एसडीए में हो, और आप लोगों की भी कोशिश तो चल ही रही काफ़ी टाइम से। और इसमें मीडिया के सहयोग से डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफिशियल्स के से एक डायलॉग क्रिएट करके, रेगुलर डायलॉग, एक कंस्ट्रक्टिव वे में, एक्टिविज्म के तौर पे नहीं बट एक कंस्ट्रक्टिव वे में उनके साथ डायलॉग किया जा सकता है रेगुलर। प्लस हम जैसे लोग जो हैं, जो प्रोफेशनल्स, जो अलग अलग स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स के साथ हम लोग काम करते हैं, तो हमारी भी कोशिश होगी कि इन कंसर्न्स को शेयर किया जाए गवर्नमेंट मीटिंग्स में, और कैसे इसमें बेहतरी लाई जा सकती है इनके ऑपरेशंस में, इनके यूटिलाइजेशन में। तो विल डेफिनेटली ट्राई। थैंक यू फॉर रेजिंग दैट।
क्योंकि सर दिल्ली में चल रही है राजनीति प्रोसीजर इस पे,
जी
जिस
तो
टाइम इसको बनाया गया
नवदीप जी,
बीजेपी ने बनाया इसको।
नवदीप जी, एक्चुअली देयर आर फ्यू मोर क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम अदर पार्टिसिपेंट्स, so can we take that please? एक्चुअली
Yes,
कुछ और
Akshat.
पार्टिसिपेंट्स के भी क्वेरीज हैं नवदीप जी।
Akshat, go ahead.
Yeah, all right. Moving forward to Mohammed Faiz. He has raised hand, so please, Mohammed Faiz, go forward with your question.
Oh, hi everyone, and first of all, sorry for the disturbance in the background. Actually, I was just I have just joined this webinar just out of curiosity. I was just going to my Instagram and just got this banner from Altamash Bhai. So I have one question from Altamash Bhai. Like you were telling us about preparedness from our homes. Okay, like we should prepare from our homes. So if I want to know how an individual practically build resilience habits in their daily lives, like especially students or young professionals living in cities. So if we want to do from a small start, how we can do that?
Correct. Thank you, Faz, for raising that. That's true. That how basic steps, what basic steps of resilience are, preparedness are. Say, for example, we are always in our home. We are going to our offices. In our home, let's do a basic HRVCA. In disaster management, we call a scientific research study, which is hazard, risk, vulnerability, and capacity assessment. So that's a little complex. We cannot do HRVCA in a very scientific manner at our home, but let's do rapid visual survey of your home. See what are the risks that can turn into some kind of emergencies or disasters. And what could be they? As I said, look into all the electrical appliances in your home. Look into your kitchen. If the cooking stoves, the cylinders, if they are fine, do we have fire extinguisher in our home? If not very big, even small fire extinguisher of a small capacity, if we have put it into near the main switch, main electrical panel, uh, so this can be some small steps. Moving to, like, if we are going to our offices, so on roads there's a lot of road accidents in India, in all the cities. So if the traffic signs are there, of course pothole is a universal problem in our country, in North India, so that's not into our hand, but at least we can utilize our social media. We can take pictures, we can post it on our social media handles, tag the municipal corporation. Let's see if it's going to bring some change, at least bring it to their notice. Then if signboards are in place or not. Now once we have reached offices, again the same thing that we followed at our home, the small steps towards rapid visual survey, let's do at our offices also. That if we offices have followed the building bylaws, if they have updated fire plan, evacuation plan, if they have renewed their fire extinguisher expiry also or not. So these very simple steps I'm telling you. I mean, of course, there are a lot more to do, but this can be a basic understanding. I mean, this will help you understand also what is disaster preparedness, what is rapid survey, what is understanding risk. So this way we can manage risk also at our personal level. I hope I'm able to answer your query.
Thank you so much for that bit of information.
Yeah,
Yes, sir, it
thank
was
you for
really
asking that.
insightful that we often blame the institutions, the buildings for not following the norms, but we as people of the society, as a part of the society, can also put up questions in front of the buildings or even the institutions which are not following these measures. So that is really a great, insightful thought that we can put forward, because it is for people and it is by people. And apart from that, we are moving forward. I think Alankrita has some questions. So Alankrita, go forward with your questions.
Yes, I had a question. Are India's floods still natural disasters, or are they failures of urban planning and governance that keep repeating every monsoon? That is my question.
Yeah, that's a good question, Alankveda. And uh, let's, from this webinar, let's take pledge that will not call any disaster natural, because no any disasters are natural now. Every disasters have human reasons, anthropogenic factors responsible, that turns them into disasters. Say for floods, if you say that if there's a flood in Antarctica, can we call it a disaster? We will not, because that flood is not causing any damage. We call any event a disaster when it is affecting something, impacting, doing any kind of damage, any collateral damage, whether to properties, to human lives, to animals, to businesses, to buildings, to roads, infrastructures, or social or qualitative. If there's a flood, or let's say if there's a urban flooding, we cannot go to offices for 1 or 2 days. So is that a problem of natural? Is that a natural flooding? No, because the drainage was not well enough. It was not planned enough. It was not cleaned on time. That's why the floods were there in the city, and we couldn't go to offices. So we cannot call it a natural disaster. Of course, then similar to flood. Why we are calling flood a disaster? Because we are we are constructing buildings on the embankments. We are setting up businesses around the rivers. We are encroaching rivers. We are not planning. We are not managing the rivers. So that's why when there will be sudden inflow of water, it will run into cities. It will run into nearby villages. And say for example, if we have not encroached river, for example, let's say in Uttarakhand, let's say in Himachal, there were lot of major flooding and major disasters due to cloud burst or floods. So we cannot call it a natural disaster again. Why? If we have not built any houses near those uh, pathway of those rivers, if there have been safe shelters, if we had built some shelters on higher grounds, so that if there was any early warning regarding floods, people could have moved to those higher places. So I think that certain flood could have saved people, could have saved properties. So of course we can say that floods are not natural disasters. So again, I'd request all the participants, because if we from our level will start saying that no, floods or anything disasters are not natural, everybody will follow, whether it's media, whether government, everybody will stop using natural disasters. Yeah, we can say natural hazards. So hope I'm
Yes, sir. It is very
clear.
insightful thought which is brought forward that it somehow disaster are the result of the human intervention that we have done today. Even the floods are a result of some human interventions. So we will try to put forward this thought of calling them as natural hazard rather than calling them disaster. And thank you, sir, for that thought. Apart from that, Amzad Ali Khan, our guest from Pakistan, is having some question to ask from you, sir. So we'll move forward with Amzad Ali Khan, followed.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Mr. Amjad.
Hello, yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for delivering a very informative discussion. So, actually, the main point is to understand the basic theme of this disaster management. Actually, in my point of view, disaster management is not a discipline. It is basic necessary or basic need of human beings as we face every day. So nowadays
True.
we are talking it as a discipline in universities, in colleges. So, but as we know, in everyday life we have perils, different type of perils we face. Like sometimes we have lighter in our pocket. It is just type of peril, unless it's cause any disaster. So how we manage it? The main point is that. So in our everyday life, in houses, in offices, like in office, we are sitting and on a chair from morning to night or morning to evening. So so at that time, due to bad posture, sometimes we face some ergonomic hazards. This is type of hazard. So we face problems in our body. So understand such type of small, very minor hazards that we have in our everyday life. So this is the main point I want to deliver here. My question, sir, here is, so you talk about different type of organizations like Sendai framework, is global point of view, and like sustainable development goals, and regionally we have NDMS, PDMS, and DDMS. So they all have their policies and their contingency plans, but they have strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats as well. So they are doing their best, but sometimes they have some weaknesses. So it is mandatory to deal with according to the region to region. So I'm sharing an experience with you. During my teaching in Karakoram International University, Gilgit, Pakistan, I was teaching, delivering a lecture on uh, community-based disaster risk management. It was a basic foundation course. So while during field work, I uh, face barriers from the communities, because the communities always do not accept the change. This is main problem, because at that place where we have disaster are occurring year by year, and the government want to relocate or displace the communities from safe their zone to safe zone, they are not willing to understand the situation, and they are not willing to change the location. Why? Because they have real place attachments with that area for a very long period of time. Their ancestors are there, their parents, their graveyards there. So they have cultural and all different attachments with this with that area. So that is the big problem. So my question here is, sir, so how we can motivate the communities to relocate from hazardous or prone areas to a safe zone? So how we motivate them on different type of, sometimes they put forward the religious points of view, cultural point of view. So this is the very big barrier to relocate the communities. So my point of view, this question is that.
Thank you, Mr. Amjad. That's very comprehensive and good to know about your working with the community. And that's true. I mean, it's not very easy to evacuate a community from a disaster-affected region because they are like it's their livelihood, it's their houses, and suddenly on receiving an early warning and going and talking to them and asking them to evacuate and relocate, it's obviously it's not very easy. But yes, uh, we don't have any other option because saving life is more important than saving their houses, their properties. There is a lot of emotional connection is there with their, uh, I mean, everything attached to their belongings. But only option is that we can try to convince them that first and at most important is your life. So we have to save you, and you have to first save yourself, and then anything else is there. So conviction obviously is the first, is the key to request them. The second would be that whether the alternate place where we are trying to take them and we are trying to shift them, do we have enough arrangements? Do we have sufficient arrangements in place in terms of their basic needs of food and nutrition, shelter, protection, uh, their livelihood? Do we have sufficient arrangement for that, whether by the government or the humanitarian organizations? If we have made sure that uh, there are child-friendly spaces, do we have we made sure that there are arrangements for lactating women? Have we made sure that there are protection for girls, women? So that is also important, so that we can tell them that don't worry, we have made some arrangements for you, and basic necessities are there. So that could be another. I mean, that can also act as a pull factor. The push factor is evacuating them. The pull factor is telling them that we have made sure that your basic needs are arranged there. So please move from here. So convincing them, making good arrangements for them, and also telling them that once you return back, we'll make sure that if your houses are damaged, if your livelihoods are damaged, we'll try to compensate. If not 100%, we'll compensate 50% of it. We'll issue, the government can release ex gratia. There can be some standard procedures for that. There can be standard procedure to do the assessment of loss and damage. And yes, government is having that criteria and standards for that. So I guess through these ways we can try to convince and request those people to evacuate and shift to other places, because ultimately life is more important than properties and assets. So, Mr. Amjad, I hope I'm able to answer your question.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for detailed answer, sir. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
Yes, sir. It was really insightful, and even we learned that community, the awareness amongst the community is most important thing, and to fight these kind of disasters, to mitigate these kind of disasters. So apart from this, I will be taking the last question because we will have a lot of questions coming forward. So there is a question from Google Forms which we created, and the question is from Abnish Sarma, who is a research scholar from Banasthali University, and she asked how can spatial analysis and community-based knowledge system be integrated to strengthen disaster risk resilience and preparedness in rural areas.
Can you please go again, Akshat? Sorry.
Yes, sir. So the question is, how can spatial analysis and community-based knowledge system be integrated to strengthen disaster risk resilience and preparedness in rural areas?
Yeah, that's a good question. Finally, something related to technology. You know why? We are doing GIS analysis. We are doing a lot of spatial analysis. We are utilizing the maps. We are utilizing satellite data during HRVCS, during disaster planning. But not all spatial analysis, not all satellite data, not all those GIS analysis will give you the right picture unless we validate it from the ground, unless we take into consideration the community's perspective. Like, say, for example, during my recent exercise, HRVC exercise, for one of the districts, through our spatial analysis, we found that this particular place A is vulnerable to flood and highly vulnerable to flood because of its location near to a river and because of its exposure to floods. But when we went onto the ground and we talked to the community, we tried to understand the previous and historical trends of floods in that particular region A. We found that there was never flood in that territory in last 10 to 20 years, and even in last 30 to 40 years. So what we realized that if we have not gone to the ground, if we have not gone to that community and we have not talked to them and we didn't understand their perspective, so we could have said in our report that this particular place is highly vulnerable to flood. So that's true that without validation on ground and talking to the communities, taking to their perspective in consideration, we should not finalize a report, we should not finalize a policy, we should not finalize a plan. So yeah, I mean, that's important, that's very important.
Yes. Totally agree, sir, that the role of communities in these kind of disaster risk reduction and mitigation plans is very much important. And yes, sir, like the ground, the field work plays an important role in such kind of policy framing and everything. So that was quite insightful. Apart from that, audience has written their topics in the chat box. We will take note of that also. And also, I would like to add that we had a very wide, diverse range of participants joining from very eminent institutions today. And from, as we know, Amzad Ali Khan, he joined from Pakistan. There were a few students who joined from different institutions such as Delhi University, Andhra University, and Indraprastha College for Women, Sri Lanka, South Eastern University of Sri Lanka, and other institutions. So we are glad that you were all here. We would like to thank you on behalf of whole Bhuchintan team. And also, I would like to introduce you all to the initiative of Bhuchintan that we at Bhuchintan runs a magazine as well. So we are recruiting members, various members for content creation, event team, and other domains. So if you are enthusiastic enough to work with Bhuchintan, you are invited. We will be sharing the link of this Google form for joining Bhuchintan with you on your email. So please note down to share your email as well. Apart from that, I would like to call upon Argha Pratandas to take over and please propose a vote of thanks for the event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akshat, for giving me this privilege for the vote of thanks for this session. First of all, I would like to thank Sir Altamash Sir for this wonderful, insightful session. And to be honest, when I saw Sir profile in LinkedIn, I thought that this person can be the best one for interacting with us because I've seen Sir's like groundwork that he's working along with UNDP India and different parts of India, especially. So it was really great, sir, knowing from your insights about what is disaster management truly means. It's not mere disaster management that we are reading only in books and only we are hearing in webinars and seminars. It's more than that. And as someone said, that disaster management is nothing that we need to study as a subject. It's something that a child also should know from the basic thing. So I'd like to thank Sir for this initiative, and I would like to also thank Sir for giving us time on this day. And on behalf of the whole Puchintan team, I'd also like to wish Sir a very happy birthday and today. And so it is really great that on this special day of yours, you like took out time for us and you gave us time. That's really we are really thankful to you. Puchintan team is really thankful to you. And yeah, so whatever you have said, starting from the disaster team, disaster, and it's not merely a word anymore, of course. And the wide range of participants, they shared their insights. And also the international participants are there, like Mr. Amzad Ali Khan. So we are really thankful to each and everyone they have joined. And participants can also share their email ID in the chat box so that we can send them regular updates. And also, please let us know on what topics you want us to organize the next webinar, and we will be really helpful in coordinating and organizing the next webinar as an all. So I'd like to thank Sir, and Sir, requesting you to please stay connected with us. And also a last token of appreciation from our side. I will send you by email, but in front of everyone, I just want to share. So this is a small token of appreciation from our side. And it's really being a webinar, being an online platform. So that's what we can effort for the time being as a youth-led initiative. And I hope in future someday we will meet and we will take on that situation a bit more ahead. And that's all from Bhuchintan team. And I will mail you, sir. I will mail you this one. Thank you, everyone. All
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And just I'd like to thank you people also, Mr. Akshat, Olga. I mean, it's good to know. I mean, I'm really happy to see your hard works, efforts, and behind these initiatives, Chintan, and bringing all these participants, reaching out to me, following up with me, scheduling this call. I mean, thank you. I mean, so happy because this is also one part of disaster preparedness that we have such young, enthusiastic people now. So let's be in touch, and I hope we'll connect again and again. Maybe we can design thematic based webinars also, topic based webinars. Anytime, whenever you feel, available, feel free to reach out. We can connect. We can keep connecting again and again. I mean, on different aspects of disaster risk management. So thank you once again for having me here.
Thank you so much, sir, and for all the participants over here, those who have joined us newly. Again, you have the opportunity to join the events team of Bhuchintan is open, so you can reach out with us to us through our LinkedIn also. So we are very much active over there, and that's how we together we can change, because alone we cannot do anything. And say disaster management, say climate change, whatsoever. So alone it's not possible for anyone. So we are trying to connect the youths from throughout India, irrespective not only of webinar, we are also having our magazines. You can check in our LinkedIn, in our Instagram. So please follow with us in LinkedIn. You can follow up there, and yeah, stay connected, and you will get to know more about Bhuchintan. Thank you so much for everyone joining. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Akshay.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir, for this insightful session and all the audience who joined today. It was really quite interesting to learn a lot from you all. And thank you, Varga, our event team head, for organizing this webinar. It was quite insightful. And now I would like to ask the audience, the floor is open for 2 minutes for a formal feedback session. And if anybody who would like to add anything can add it, and then we will be concluding with our session.
Anybody wants to speak up, kindly unmute yourself. You can give us the feedback, and more about that, we will also be sharing the feedback form link in our group. So you can give us the feedback in that form also. And in the meantime, ma'am, you have asked about our Bhuchintan's information. So you can connect us with in LinkedIn especially, and also we are there in Instagram also, and you can connect us over there. And we have also the Bhuchintan WhatsApp channel. You can also connect up with there. So anyone and everyone whosoever wants to say anything, I think Akshat, we can share the feedback form in the group itself, so
Sure.
we can wind right now. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you, everyone. We will be winding up with this session. Thank you once again to Altamash Khan.
Thank you, Akshat. Thank you, Olga. Bye.